You're listening to the podcast where we talk about life, sports, family, and everything in between. Welcome to Just Talking Out Loud with your hosts, Ron and Terry.
Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Ron.
And I'm Terry.
And we are podcasting live from our, oh, you know what I forgot to do? I wanted to close that blind on you because I know what's going to happen.
The sun's going
to hit you and you're going to we'll have to address that. We got lots going on today. We're going to talk about a couple things. Some of the things we're going to discuss is how you are how do I want to say this? You're in a public bathroom. It's not automatic flusher. So how do you go about flushing the commode? We'll talk about that.
You shouldn't touch the handle, right?
I guess not. One reason we could be overweight. We'll talk about that. How to put on, this is funny because I thought it was kind of interesting because it came up on a news article, how people put on their shoes and socks. Is there a right way to put on their shoes and their socks?
Usually your socks first.
We're also going to talk about major decisions. Now, when you make major decisions, do you talk to a certain person? Do you, look at certain advice? We'll discuss that. And also making sense of our five senses.
Making sense of our five senses.
Yeah, and which one could you do if you lost one? Which one would be the one that you would least miss? We'll discuss that too. And then 4 things that the opposite sex really wants. So those are just some of the things we're going to discuss. We have a lot, and I have a couple other things just in case that doesn't
fill up
our minutes.
Yeah.
We've got other things to discuss. I saw this. I wanted to get your opinion on this little topic. There was a listener that called into a radio station and she was upset because she said she feels that the only reason this person got a promotion is because she's hot. So is it wrong to get a promotion because you are attractive?
Well, if you're attractive and you're working hard and you're a good worker, then
it doesn't matter, right? Shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter. But if you're attractive and the person next to you works harder, then the one next to you should get the promotion.
Yeah.
But now in some fields, your looks is what gets you the job.
You mean like a porn star?
No, like modeling and stuff like that.
Well, that's yeah. But I think she's talking about, working in just a office environment. And it does happen.
Some offices, wouldn't you rather go in and see a receptionist that's at least pleasant and clean? Like,
yeah.
If you went in and they're greasy and don't have no hygiene, that just kind of turns you off.
Yeah.
Like if you went to a doctor's office or a dentist's office and they don't take care of themselves.
I wouldn't be going to that dentist.
Right. See, there you go.
Because
there are some things that are kind of important in looks, not really looks, but in
hygiene.
Yes.
It's not necessarily the looks.
Yeah.
Right?
But you don't want their hair sticking out all over and they're,
Yeah. I was just curious. It doesn't matter if you're hot. Right. It's are you good at what you do?
Yeah.
And that should take precedent over whether or not you get the job or not.
Yeah.
That would be my opinion, but I don't know. I mean, there are places I'm sure that
they say attractive people, get more out of life. Like they say, like attractive girls. We even have heard some of our kids' girlfriends say, oh, well, they're not worried about getting pulled over because they can, talk themselves out of a ticket.
Might be true.
And sometimes they might be able to because they're pretty and, oh, officer, I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at it. And can't you just give me a warning this time?
And just
flutter your eyes a little bit. And,
it's so hot in this car.
Yes. And then,
there goes the button.
I'll let you off with a warning this time. But if I catch you again,
Yeah. I don't know.
So.
I just thought it was, I thought I would just bring it up. See, I mean, I don't. Again, I don't. I think that it shouldn't matter. I know it does, for some, for some bosses are, but I think they've, for the most part, I think. But most businesses look at the job qualifications, and obviously you want somebody.
I mean, there's one in every office that's dragging their feet. You know what I mean? They just don't. They've gotten away with not doing everything, and
that's
they kind of
happen.
pass the buck to someone else. And it seems like there's one everywhere, that does that and gets away with it for a long time.
Yeah, just because you're attractive, if you get a promotion, that shouldn't be the only thing. You should look at it as, well, I must be doing a good job.
Yeah.
And my skirt must be just the right length. Is that how that works? I don't know. I wanted to ask, you have a tendency to, this is why I wanted to ask this question. You have a tendency, for some reason, we go out and we always do do you have to go to the bathroom before you leave? But for some reason, certain stores just seem to get you boiling for some reason.
I just have to go when I go in there. I don't know.
It's weird. What I'm trying to think.
I think it's just the time of the morning when we go out, because I drink all the water with vitamins and stuff, and then that hits bottom when we're in the store.
We are early.
Yes.
Risers early.
And it happens at work too. Like when I get to work,
I've
had my vitamins, and then I get a cup of tea. And when I'm done with that cup of tea, I usually have to go.
Yeah, but I
just disappear and go, because
Sam's
no
Club,
one's ever at their desk to come relieve me.
With Sam's Club, it's not number 1, it's number 2 for you.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
I don't get it. What is it with Sam's Club and number 2?
I don't know. I'm like, ooh.
So anyway, you're going in there. Now, most places do not have the automatic flush, where you get up and it already flushes.
I think they do there.
Where at Sam's?
Mm-hmm.
They're highfalutin.
I think they're highfalutin because it's a newer.
We don't even have that in our bathrooms. And our bathrooms
it's a newer store too.
Are highfalutin. So I'm kind of surprised that yours has that. But anyway, so do you use your hand?
Ours doesn't
to flush
at my work. We don't.
Yeah, we don't either. That's what I'm saying.
And I use my hand.
And this is our bathrooms.
But then I wash my hands really good.
So you don't use your foot?
No,
because they were talking about you use your foot or use your hand.
I've seen a lot of people put their foot up there and do that, but
You've watched people in their stalls?
Well,
how do you see that?
Growing up.
Oh, growing up.
Corky used to paper all over the toilet seat. You weren't allowed to touch anything, and then she used her foot. Then she practically washed your whole body when you were done, and then
public bathroom.
Yes, yeah, and then she washed her whole body practically. It was like a whole aspect to go to the bathroom.
You'd be better off just to wait till you get home.
It was like a thing, and I'm like, sorry, I got to go. And I go in the next stall and just go and wash up, and I'd be standing there waiting for her, Cassie.
I'd use my foot, but I'm afraid I'd lose my balance, and then I would knock myself out. In the stall.
Either that or your foot would end up in the toilet, and right down with it, and then you're stuck,
Because those floors and some of those public bathrooms are just, they got that, especially in a restaurant, a greasy feel to it.
Or that someone overflowed it and there's water all over on the floor, or I
was trying to think of where we were at. It was a restaurant. I want to say it was a burger place. I think it's Red Robin. That we went in there and the floor just felt weird, like greasy. Like I'm sure that with all the hamburgers they make and all the fries, that it would be hard. I mean, I'm not saying they don't clean their floors. I'm just saying it just felt like you could slip and fall, because even just walking through the dining room. Maybe it was, I don't know. When was the last time we went to? It's been a while. It's been a while since we've been to Red Robin, though.
It has.
But I can't use my foot. They should make a special public bathroom stick or something to flush. You just kind of, I don't know. Or what about if they had a chain? Remember the old time? Just pull the chain.
But then everyone's touched the chain too.
Yeah,
with COVID going around, you don't know who rubbed their nose before they grabbed the chain.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, all right. So you're a hand flusher and then wash.
Mm-hmm. Just wash your hands.
Just wash the hands afterwards. A lot of people don't do that either.
I know.
It's disgusting.
That's disgusting.
Sometimes when
especially if they work in a restaurant.
I don't like to do number 2, but sometimes you just don't have any choice.
Yeah,
you just don't have any choice.
I don't like it out in public. You
So
like
somebody-
your own place.
Right. Somebody walks in, and I don't know if you do this or not, but sometimes I'm kind of bored because you're waiting, and someone will come in, and then you wait because they'll leave, and you're waiting for the water to start, and all you hear is the door open, and then you think to yourself, I wonder who that was, because I don't want to fist bump that person, I don't want to shake their hands, I hope it's not the chef. All those things run through your mind.
Yeah.
If you know they were in there
hands.
and they didn't wash their hands. And I like the Eaton Park remind you before you leave. I don't know if you have this in your bathroom, but it says, is Kennywood open? It's on the door.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So whenever you go out, heading out, it'll say, is Kennywood open? There's like a little sign on the bottom of the door.
Is Kennywood open, and did you wash your hands?
Well, I didn't say wash your hands, but yeah, is Kennywood open? I thought that was a nice reminder.
Yeah.
You don't want little Ron all flopping through there with well, not that I don't wear underwear, but I'm just saying, if you didn't, you want that little zipper zipped tight. Anyway, so that's our bathroom story. All right, next subject. What could be one reason we're overweight?
We eat too much.
Well, besides that, now, yeah, that's true. It does say that.
My diet really showed me in portions. I mean,
you know what? Let's talk about that.
Rice is supposed to be a quarter cup of rice.
Yeah.
It's probably only a quarter cup of a lot of things. Oatmeal, like your steel cut oats and your better oatmeal, is supposed to only be a quarter cup.
Right.
And that quarter cup has like 170 calories. So if you're having a whole cup, you're tripling, quadrupling your calorie intake. Plus your stomach is enlarging that much.
What I would say is, and we've talked about this diet that you've been on, and I tell people when I tell them how much weight you've lost, and it's not so much the weight as it is the inches, because there was a time where you were like, this isn't work. I remember a couple weeks in, maybe a month in, and you're like, this isn't working. And for some reason, I don't remember why we did it, but we were doing measurements. And you measured your arms, your waist, your hips or whatever.
And I had lost 2 inches.
And so I said, well,
okay. And that's what kept me going, really, was the inches. I still hadn't lost maybe 5-7 pounds,
right,
but I had lost 2 inches then. And then the next week I took off more.
Right. And it's kind of a slow process, but I would not have believed it and I don't know if you would have either. But I will say that you really stuck to it. And I think the reason, and I could be way off, you tell me if I'm wrong, there's several reasons. You either want to lose weight or you don't, okay? You get into these weight loss challenges and stuff, and the mind's a big thing. It has to, you have to really want to do it.
Mind over matter.
But I also believe in our case, and maybe in your case, because I know you were mad, $700 is a lot of money
for that blood test and everything. Yeah.
Now, if you had not have done that, say we would have done something free.
Well, which we did something free,
but
I didn't. And you know what? And you know what? I probably would have. I think that one would have worked. It's just I only did it for 2 or 3 weeks.
We didn't do it long enough.
And I lost weight like the first week, a few, pounds. And then I put it back on. And I don't know if it was the food that week or whatever. The only thing I didn't like about that one is you eat the same thing 3 or 4 times a week. Like they have you buy, say, salmon or shrimp or whatever it is. And you make a lot of it. And then you eat it for 2 dinners and 2 lunches or something that week. And I guess sick of the same thing.
Yeah, that was a big thing. You'd have it say Monday, then you might have it again Wednesday or Thursday, something like that. And then you do the same thing.
And then you might have it one lunch. And then,
that's right. You turn around and have it for lunch. That's right. I forgot about that.
So yeah.
But I do believe though that was a motivator besides wanting to try and get down, if you could, get down on your, get some weight
Because
off.
I have taken 5 more off without that plan.
You have. Yeah. You got down. Your weight that you wanted to get down to was 130, and you did that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have believed it if I had. And now again, let's be honest with people out there that are thinking about going on diet stuff. First of all, you got to really want to do it because you had.
Well, I couldn't get a belt around my waist, and I couldn't fit in most of my clothes anymore. So,
but I'm saying there was some difficult.
But COVID put me way over. That was the last.
Everybody went way over with COVID.
Well, no, I mean, when I actually had COVID, most people I know lost weight when they actually had COVID.
Oh, you were eating.
I gained.
Yeah, you were eating.
If I was awake, I was eating. I was starving to death. I did not lose my taste or my smell. I wanted food. And if someone ate the food that was in the refrigerator while I was sleeping, I was mad at them.
Yes, I know. But one of the reasons we could be overweight, and you were right, it's upselling is what they're calling it, but we are responsible for what we put in our mouths. And it doesn't help, they say, according to health experts, that the average person experiences roughly 2 or 3 upsells a week. Upselling involves stores, cafes, and restaurants encouraging customers to upgrade to larger meals and drinks or adding high-calorie toppings and sides. And it says the less you visit retail food places and prep meals at home, we were just talking about prepping, the fewer upsells you face. A typical person, upselling means an extra 17,000 calories a year.
17,000.
Just from upselling.
And they don't get me with that. Do they get you with that?
No.
I mean, when we go,
I never
we don't go fast food very often. And when we do, if they say, oh, can I supersize that or whatever, we're like, no.
Supersize that with a Diet Coke. It makes it okay.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Mm-mm. Well, actually, the Coke is just as worse as upselling.
Probably,
to be honest.
Yeah.
But we're not the only ones. What are you looking at?
There's stink bugs.
Oh, there's stink bugs everywhere.
They're all over. But the one was on the outside, and now he looks like he's on the inside of the screen.
He's on the inside of the screen.
How did he? But he was on the outside just a minute ago, unless there was 3 or 4. I don't know.
They are sneaky little buggers.
Wasps up there too.
Yes, there is.
So I hope they're not nesting someplace.
Yeah, well, he's probably there because it's warm.
Yeah, that's
on
true.
The screen. That sun
is shining.
Is shining right there, and it's going to be in your eyes here very shortly. But not only, listen to this. So we were talking about upselling, and that's why some of us are overweight. And it's easy to say another 50 cents you can have, another burger,
another muffin,
2 more donuts, whatever. Well, donuts don't cost 50 cents anymore. But there was a restaurant, the very first ever dog restaurant.
Dog?
Yes. It's all dog food. There's no human food at all. This guy is a chef. It opened in San Francisco. It's called Dog U. It's DOGUE. And what happened was his wife got a Mastiff. That's a very big dog, right?
Oh, yes, that's a big dog.
And the dog wouldn't eat certain foods, would not eat like regular dog food. They tried everything. They went, spent hundreds of dollars on different foods trying to get him to eat. So one day he decided to use his culinary skills and make some food for the dog. And when you know it, the dog just was eating it up. So they decided, the wife said, why don't you just open up a restaurant just for dogs? Now, the kicker is not like you can go on a Sunday and do like a culinary. I don't know. It's not really culinary. It's where you can try multiple things.
Yeah, to see what they have. Like
it's $75.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, the food's
for
not
your
cheap.
Dog.
Yes.
Rigby would love that.
Yeah, it's all.
Well, he would eat everything. So would Titus. Titus would have to have one of everything.
And these foods are, all homemade. It's all done in front. I forget all the, I wish I had the paper in front of me.
That would really hurt if you took Anika and she stuck her nose up at it and turned around.
Well, she might not at this because it's all made in front of her. So if you gave her a Anika, that's my Nathan Alexis dog. It's a husky. If you had one chip that was generic, say Giant Eagle, and then you had Lay's in the other hand,
She'll know the difference.
She knows the difference.
And she'll eat the
And
Lays.
she'll eat the Lays, and she will not.
But she, sometimes they make her chicken and they put cheese on it and she won't eat it.
We've seen her meals, and I'm like, well, she has a better meal than we do.
They cook her food sometimes and she won't eat it. So she just is very finicky.
She's very finicky. But speaking of dogs,
if you paid $75 and she wouldn't eat it, I'd be really upset.
I'd be mad too. So, well, that's on a Sunday. I think it's, what do you call that when you have like
a smorgasbord?
Yes, $75. But all the meals weren't cheap, and there's no human food at all. So if you're going to take your dog, it's just for the dog. So you'd have to you'd have to eat out on your own. So not only are we overweight from upselling, but apparently Pennsylvania is the home to the plumpest pets in America. 18 pounds overweight. And because Pennsylvania is the snack food capital of the world. Yeah. With its enormous snack food industry, it's also been spoiling its pets with treats.
Can't comment on that, but I can chuckle.
It said PA dogs weighed over 54% above the national average.
PA dogs.
Yes. All the state of Pennsylvania is
people love their pets so much they want to give them everything. And I do. I have to admit, I'm bad culprit when
you feed Rigby.
When Rigby and Titus come over, and even when we go over and watch Ben, I have a little bacon bit in my pocket.
He's not exactly
Titus.
No slim either.
I mean, although he's better than he used to be, but he's
a little porker.
He's a little, and Rigby, I had to, we had him this weekend, I had to increase his harness about an inch.
Oh, he gained some weight too. That's because he's not walking.
Yeah, because no one's walking him. He needs to move back in with me. I'll get him slimmed down.
So PA is the plumpest pets in America. In Virginia, Wisconsin, and Georgia were neck and neck for the runner-up spots with an average of 16 pounds overweight. So if your dog is overweight in one of those states, well, God help us all, I guess. Well, we got to stop.
We know quite a few overweight dogs.
We do. And you can only give them so many cheese balls before they're going to have their little doggy heart attack. Okay, you're going to put on, let's next subject before we go to break. You are putting on your socks and shoes. Now, this is easy for me, but apparently on TikTok, which you can learn many things on TikTok, it's making the world so much better.
Yeah.
They wanted to know the correct order to put on your socks and shoes. Now, for me, I don't, my shoes are not where my socks are, right? Because my shoes are downstairs on the entry. Yours are, but a lot of them,
depends.
You don't wear boots. Yeah. Your boots are downstairs. But for me, it's sock, shoe. And then I go downstairs, shoe, and then I tie. That's mine. Some people say sock, shoe, tie. Some people say sock, shoe, tie, shoe. Oh, that's what I just did that one. Sock, shoe, tie. I don't know. Does it really matter?
I don't think it should matter as long as you put your socks underneath your shoes.
There should be a right way or a wrong way. Why were we even discussing it? I'm sorry I brought it up.
So they really have a right way?
No, they just say, is there a right way? They were intrigued by wondering if there was I remember Archie Bunker had talked to, what was his name? I want to say Meathead. It wasn't Meathead. It was
Mike.
And they were talking about socks and shoes. And Archie was saying, you put a sock and a sock. He says, and then Mike said, no, you put a sock and a shoe. And he said, that's stupid. He said, well, while you're wandering around with just, if there's a fire and your sock's all wet and cold, I'm hopping around on one foot with a sock and a shoe. Which he had a point.
Yeah.
If it's cold and snowy. So, I mean, you can look at it that way. He said, why is your way, right, mine wrong? When I have a shoe on, I can hop around and stay dry while you're flopping around in your socks, which is true.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was just all in the family.
You remember that? Huh?
Yeah, I do remember that. There's some things I remember. Not a lot, but I remember that one. All right, so we'll do one more before we go to break. funeral directors are describing it as a seismic shift in death and generations. Now, 6 decades ago, 5% of deceased were cremated in the United States. It has risen 27% in 2020. And it was 20 years ago, it went to 27%. In 2020, 56% of deceased Americans were cremated. And by the current projection, by 2040, it'll hit almost 80% of people being cremated.
Yeah, I mean, we're supposed to go to dust eventually anyhow.
Well, you're
we're
gonna
just
rot.
rushing it.
And why not? I mean, what's the deal? What's the big deal?
What's the difference?
Well, I think the biggest difference would be
The spot you put you in is a
well,
lot smaller.
Well, yeah, but how much do you save?
Yeah,
some
and it is a lot
funerals
cheaper.
are like $10,000 or more just to have. Well, you do
just
through the whole process
casket
and then
everything, and
then be
that's
buried.
not. Yeah, I think.
I would imagine that cremation is cheaper.
Yeah, it is.
I should have looked it up, and I didn't.
But there's different kinds of cremation that some people, there's controversial one's better than the other and stuff too.
What are they doing?
I don't know. Like some of them burn and reburn, and make sure it's like ashes, and some of them,
But isn't that what you're supposed to do? Because then you just put you in a bag anyway,
or in a box, and then you get it, and then you get an urn for them. Or
because I've thought about this for myself, I was wondering if that's the way I want to.
I know we can't make up our minds.
Well, I'm leaning more towards that, but I don't know. Then I don't think about it because it's just morbid.
Yeah.
Not morbid, because we are getting to an age where you do have to think about that kind of stuff. And
once I'm gone, I don't really care what you do with me.
Well, no one's. Oh, really?
Once I'm not.
Might have you stuffed.
Well, once I'm not living in this body,
I mean, it is something we need. I was going to say something. It is. You don't want to think about it, but we're not guaranteed tomorrow.
That's right.
And we really don't have. We need to go do our will, which we haven't done, and we probably need to see somebody about arrangements, just so the kids don't have to go through all that baloney.
You've had to do it a few times.
I've had, but most of the time it's been pretty much done, pre-planned, and that's the way you'd want it for our kids. They had enough to go through all our crap in this house, and they'd have to worry about because we have a lot of crap in this house.
Oh yeah.
So. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you had to decide right now, cremation or...
I'd probably go with cremation.
I probably would too. I mean, I am leaning more towards that.
I mean...
I don't want to say it's all about money.
I don't want to put someone out of money. You know what I mean? And then you don't know the situation. If you've been in the hospital and the insurance money could pay that off, I'd rather them pay that off and not have any bills after I'm gone,
Well, if you wanted to donate an organ, could they do that first and then
they would harvest your organ. They have to do that within so many hours of your death.
If you have that on you have to sign up for that, don't you?
Yeah, it's on your driver's license usually.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm an organ donor.
I think I am too. I don't know if
anything's ever good by the time I go. But I always thought if I died in a car accident when I was young or something, you can have,
Yeah.
Someone needs a kidney or something like that. I don't need it anymore.
I don't know if I have anything good on me. My eyes are, I'm wearing glasses, so they're not great. My nose is good. It's big enough if you want to get a better smeller. Like that would work.
If that's considered an organ, I think they want your heart, lungs, kidneys.
They want an organ?
Liver. Yeah.
Oh.
Organ.
My liver should be okay, I think.
You don't drink.
I don't drink, but that doesn't mean anything either. Not really.
No.
So, all right. So when we come back from break, we're going to talk about our 5 senses. And also, are we making decisions? We're making good decisions, major decisions in life. Who do you turn to in those tough decision making? And what is a tough decision? Well, I think a big purchase would be
Well, when we bought our house, your dad came and looked at it with us.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that was a big, we were, just getting married and found this house, and we've been in it ever since. It's 1985.
As soon as we looked at one house, your dad jumped on the bandwagon. Oh, there's one here, one there. And he wanted to show us a lot of houses.
Because there was one not far from here.
Yes, he was showing us ones that we couldn't afford. And
That's
he said,
true,
well,
too.
Can I give you a little bit more money and you can afford it? I said, yeah, but we got to be able to afford the payment afterwards.
Yeah, it's not about, interest rates were high at that point, too.
They were like 13%.
Yes.
So, and we were making $3 an hour was minimum wage. So
I was making more than that.
Yeah, we were making a little more than that, but
I was making 10, I think, or 11.
I don't know, but
at Millcraft. I was working at Millcraft then.
Yeah,
and you were working the bank, I think.
Mm-hmm, that's why I knew we couldn't afford certain ones.
Yeah, a little bit on the street in the banks.
Mm-hmm.
No, she wasn't working the street. That's not how I found her. Found her in the grocery store, actually. I don't know if we've ever told that story, how we met.
I don't know.
I mean, we'll start on that, and then we'll go into major decision. That's a major decision, too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. So you want to start a podcast. Maybe you're listening to the show today, and you're thinking to yourself, boy, that would be fun, and I have a lot of things I want to talk about. Maybe today is the day. Maybe you're looking for a new marketing channel, or you have a message that you'd like to share with the world, or you just think it would be fun to have a talk show. And it is a lot of fun, just talking to your friends. Maybe you have ideas about sports, life, or whatever your passion is. Today's the day. Podcasting is easy, it's inexpensive, and it's a fun way to expand your reach online. And where should you go? Buzzsprout. It's hands down the easiest, and it's the best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. And your show, believe it or not, can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories in minutes, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcast, and you wouldn't believe how many more there are. And they make it simple to join all of them. Podcasting is not hard when you have the right partners, and Buzzsprout is the team to join. They are passionate about your success. You can join over 1,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout. We're one of them. We've been on Buzzsprout from the beginning, and I'm so glad I joined up. I had a little bit of an issue, emailed a customer service rep, and they got back to me within 5 minutes, and they had me calm down. It wasn't that hard, and what I was doing was my fault. So here's all you got to do. Click on the link in the show notes. It tells Buzzsprout we sent you. You can support our show, and if you get a paid plan, you get a $20 gift certificate from Amazon. Now, here's some other things that Buzzsprout provides. Like, you get a great looking podcast website. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I got to get a website, got to pay for that. No, you don't. They provide it for you. Also, they have audio players. Maybe you have a website. All you want to do is promote your show on your own website. You can do that with their audio players. And you can also drop it into other websites and on Facebook or Twitter. And they help you do it all. Believe me, Buzzsprout is the way to go. They've helped me immensely, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So maybe today is a day for you to start your podcast. And if you do, check out the link below in the show notes and get a $20 Amazon gift card. Welcome back to the show, the second half. I'm Ron.
And I'm Terry.
We left talking a little bit about how we met. And we met, I started working at Foodland. That was my first job, was Foodland. Terry was already working there, womaning the cash register. And back then you didn't have that bloop, bloop. It came in later, but
no, I had to punch the buttons.
You punched the buttons.
$1.89, $2.49, yep. Produce, meat.
And I walked in there, and Terry just she couldn't take her eyes off my Jordache jeans.
You're so full of it.
What do you mean I'm so full of it? It's true. You said it. Hey, you read what it said on the jeans, so you must have been looking. Probably trying to find my butt, because I don't have a butt.
No, you don't have much of a butt.
No, thanks for letting me know. But that's how we met. Met at Foodland. And the rest is history. That's a major decision. What you're probably thinking, boy, I made that decision. When we were getting married, did you talk to anybody about, should I be doing this to this Italian?
No, I didn't have to. My dad had already told me your family wasn't going to allow you to marry me because I didn't have any Italian in me at all.
Well, you do now. Or you did.
And, oh no, he liked both you and Ralph. My dad just liked you both.
Why would that?
Well,
because you weren't Italian. That doesn't make sense.
Well, because where he comes from, the straight up Italian, and you were Italian on both sides. They don't intermingle, and
No, that's true. Both sides were both full-blooded Italian.
He
no
just
doubt.
figured your family was against the marriage, so he just
because it was Ciro was my mom's
and he called me a
original
cradle
name.
robber when I was.
I'm not even
dating.
a year younger than you.
I know, but you were 2 years after me in school, and
Well,
he
yeah,
was used to me dating older. I don't even think I ever really dated anyone in my grade. Yes, I did when I was in middle school. I did, but after that, they were all like a year or two older than me. Some of them 4 or 5 years older than me.
Oh, Terry, going for them older men.
Well, no.
What do you mean? No, you
I
just
think-
said you did.
Well, they went for me. They asked me out, and I don't know if some of them realized how young I was.
No, but
My sister would tell them.
how old you were?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't seem to deter them.
The first one that ever called to have a date with me, my sister sister thought he was a nice guy, and oh yeah, let her go. And I was only 14, and I wasn't supposed to date till I was 16.
You dated at 14. I can't surprise
And I went in. My dad said, "Oh well, it's only a couple weeks before her birthday, so it must have been."
Yeah,
in
but that's
November.
only 15. That's not.
I was only turning 15,
didn't know
and
how old
he
you
thought I was turning 16,
Well, your
so
mom-
he let me go.
But your mom knew.
I don't know. She was home at the moment that he called, but because my sister thought that this kid was a nice kid, he let me go. And then it was kind of hard to tell me I couldn't go the next time that I wasn't old enough. So I started dating like just a few months after she did.
So you didn't turn to anybody about this major decision of getting married? Did you talk to anybody about it?
About you?
About just in general?
I already knew everyone's opinion. My nieces
And you did it
and my
anyway.
brother and his wife loved you. My brother's wife loved you, and her whole family loved you. All of Peggy and all her sisters just, oh, Ron, you
Yeah.
keep that
I
one.
got 'em
You were
all.
a big keeper. Yeah, you had them all.
I've got them all.
You had them
snookered.
all wrapped. And
They're all
so,
snookered.
everyone liked you. It was like,
They really knew me, huh, Tara?
yes.
Like you know me.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have thought about that decision.
I did think about it.
How many? If you had to go back, not just that, but if you had to go back, how many bad decisions would you say you've made in your up to this time in your life? If you had to guess, like
Very few.
more than 5.
5 or less.
So it says here that most of us, it estimates that made at least 4 wrong major decisions in their life.
I don't even know if I've made that many because they've all worked out good.
A third said they've made more than that. 71% wish they had more guidance when it comes to making large life decisions like investing. I think that's a big one because first of all, we really don't teach our kids enough about.
When you're poor, you don't have any money to invest. You
Well,
don't have to worry about it.
But when you're young, and this is something we've told Nathan, he's done it. We've told all our kids. When you put it away, especially when you're young, you don't miss it.
Yeah, because
You don't have a lot going on at that point. And as you go, if you are able to put that money away, a certain percentage, you don't miss it. We've been doing that now.
But then Zachary got married, didn't even get married. He bought a house right away. So
Did. Yeah. But I think investing is something we just don't teach our kids
enough.
about, in my opinion. Buying a new home. We've had people in we talked to family. But ultimately it's our decision to do that. Career change. That's a decision that some people wish they had more guidance in.
Mm.
Who do you turn to for advice when making major decisions? It's kind of weird. There's 5 of them.
My parents, your
Yeah.
parents. When you're young, it's your parents.
Friends and family comes in number one, 54%. This one, the internet and research. And I guess it depends on
What kind of research and what kind of
are you doing it for a job or are you doing
or vehicles. I mean, you can research vehicles, which ones have better safety features and this and that, whatever you want. Also interest rates and stuff like that for your vehicle or your home. You can, research all that on the internet now.
that came in number 2.
That helps. I mean,
Industry professionals.
but when
come
we
in
were
number
buying our
3.
first house, we didn't have any of that. I worked at a bank, which helped.
Yeah. Our biggest thing was just interest rate was so high at that point, Industry professionals is 3, informational books 4, and then informational videos, TV shows. I don't know what TV shows
Although
you'd be
you
watching.
put it in YouTube and they have a video on everything.
They do. God bless the internet, because I've learned a lot. Certain things I wasn't sure of how to do. There's some really
Great how-to.
how-to on there. There really is. I mean, that's if there's one thing.
And anything you want to cook is on there.
Yeah, if there's one thing that's a positive, that I consider, it's that. Some of this other crap, TikTok crap they put on there,
Yeah, all this social stuff isn't, but
there's
you have something odd that you want to cook that you've never cooked before, you could put it in there on Google search and it'll pop up some, what to cook it on, whether to bake it or fry it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's some things that
It might even give you reviews of people who liked it baked or fried or, done different ways. I mean, it's...
Yeah. Like I said, that's one thing I've learned a lot from watching some pool stuff that I wasn't sure how to fix. And there's been videos on it. You wouldn't think there would be. A lot of people use it for cars if they're not sure. Like I've done that too with trying to change that battery, that key fob. I didn't know how to get that thing apart. Sure enough,
you would
you
put
go
it in
online and there it was right there. It's just, that's a good thing. We'll say that's a positive for sure. Let's talk about your 5 senses. What are the 5 senses?
Seeing, hearing,
right?
touching,
Okay.
tasting, and smelling.
Yeah, nose, tongue, eyes, skin, hair, touch, and then ears. You said all those. You hit them. If you had to do without one, now they say like people that were born blind their other senses like heighten.
Yeah.
Their ears, the touch, their I don't know if taste would be different. I don't know how that would. But if you had to lose one, if you lost one,
smell or taste.
Yeah, I was wondering. I don't know. Do you think you'd be able to go through life not being able to taste? I love food. Probably a little too much.
I think a lot of people need to lose that one because that's why
I know,
we're so
but
heavy.
everything would be so bland
that you might not eat as much.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't eat anything. I wouldn't think. At some point,
Well,
you'd
if your
starve to
stomach
death.
still got hungry, then you would have, and it wouldn't matter if you liked it or not because it would all taste bland.
It's funny that that you said
because you could choose the vegetables over the starch because if none of it tastes to you, then why not eat vegetables that are healthier? Then you could make the mind make the choice of what's healthier. You got 2 things sitting in front of you. Oh, this is healthier. You could always eat the healthier one.
When they did this poll, it's funny that you said that because the least important sense to most people was taste, which I don't know. For me, eyesight's number one. I'd hate to lose my eyesight. I would. We talked about
that
this.
would be the hardest.
Yeah, that would be tough.
And hearing would be bad too because it kind of gives you warning.
77% said their sight is the most important. Hearing is number 2 at 14%. Touch is touch. Although I don't mind touching.
Yeah, but if you lost your touch, think if you touch something hot, you could burn yourself very
Not even
badly
know.
and not know it until you look down and it's all the skin's coming off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, touch would be, but 1 and 2 is definitely eyes and ears, right? Sight
And
and hearing, definitely. And then what's 3 for you?
probably touch
You think touch before taste?
before taste and smell would be my last.
Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. I just I didn't think about touch. I like touching. I'd probably miss touching
just
you.
not only that, you wouldn't feel
Ooh.
touch either. You know, like a massage.
Well, I'd feel.
You know,
it.
when you pat someone
I
on the
couldn't-
back for reassurance
I
or
couldn't-
whatever.
I wouldn't know if I'm like
Rubbing too hard.
rubbing it raw. That'd be tough. Yeah,
I mean,
with no touch. I don't know. I just yeah. Anyway, well, you're right there. You said taste was the least important. You
taste
could lose
or
taste.
smell. Smell might be even least.
I didn't
than
think
taste.
about smell. Some smells, you know, I was watching Fen. That little booger pooped 4 times on me. 4 times that little booger pooped. And he's sly because, you know, most times youngsters, when they poop, you know they're pooping because they just freeze. They stop. He's kind of sly in a way because I didn't know, like he'd be over here playing and he might get quiet, but he doesn't like stop. And the next thing you know, this little brown
Odor.
stink comes up, touches you on the shoulder, and about knocks you out because I mean, tell you, that boy has got some stank in his turds.
Gets
My
it from his grandfather.
goodness, yeah, probably. But oh my gosh! And then he did it once; he did it 4 times. Well, 3 for me, and then 1 when you got home. I made you change.
Yeah, I
The
walked
4th.
in and you said, "Here, you can have a stinky."
Not exactly one of my favorite things to do is change a poopy diaper, but boy, he got me good. Well, you warned me because you watched him the day before,
And he went 3 times
and he
for
went
me
3
the day
times
before.
for you. So he matched that. He did
Well,
3 for
we
me.
fed him too much grapes and applesauce, hon.
Is that what we got to do? Stop the
Stop too much fruit.
too much fruit. All right, let's talk about 4 things the opposite sex really wants. What do you really want here? What do you want? That is the question. What do you want? You know, we've been watching this show, Love Island, and I know it's not the newest one. I don't think it's the newest, but it's the
probably an
first
old
time
one.
it's come over. Apparently, they have like so many seasons over in the UK,
Oh,
and then they
okay.
brought Love Island to the US. I think this is the first one, and I don't know what it is about this show. I think we used to watch Survivor. We don't watch Survivor like we used to.
Yeah.
This is not Survivor, but it's kind of a weird concept because Love Island, you're supposed to find, these are all people
True
that want to
love.
find, and we talked about this
They
on
want to find their true
The
love.
Circle. We watched, what's the one with the lamp, or not lamp, but something that talks, where they're not allowed to have sex and you lose money. Which one was that one?
Are you the one?
No, that's, I don't know.
Love is blind.
Yeah, we watched that
I
one.
thought that was Are You the One? They're supposed to pick they take a compatible test
one-
before they're there.
they were on a
before they're
beach.
and yeah, but they're
This is not, it was
Are
Lana
you the
or
one?
whatever.
Because they're supposed to match up all of
Oh.
them to the right compatible person.
You might
And
be
they
right.
all jump in bed before they know each other well enough to know who is supposed to be compatible with them.
Yeah, you might be right. Maybe that was Are You the One? I think you're right. Yeah. Anyway, that's what we're on.
Tells you what our world is, why we're so messed up. People think with their own heads.
But don't you think watching this, it's interesting to see how people interact. They think this is the one, not sure of the one. And the one couple, we weren't sure we're going to make it. He's kind of turned the corner, it seems like.
Yeah.
He kind of, we think. Again,
Yeah.
who knows once they get out of this
Well,
environment.
and that's the whole thing. All of these shows, they're in an environment that's kind of contained.
Yes.
You go into the world and go to nightclubs and
You
this
gotta go
and
back to
that.
work.
We gotta, yeah.
Reality
And-
sets
yeah,
in.
and you always, have, you might have someone chasing you down, and
So what do you want? It says here, ask almost any woman what she wants out of a relationship, and she'll likely click off the following list. Okay, you ready? Emotional connection, trust, romance, intelligent conversation, and happiness. Do you think some of those are on your... I know romance is on there.
Trust.
Trust.
No, if I had to have romance, you'd have been gone, hon.
See, that's...
You're not.
Gee, thanks.
You're not that romantic. I don't know. I think different people look for different things. You know what I mean? Compatibility to me. One thing I think people should look at that they don't is their partners while they're dating, flaws, and can you live with them? Because people go into things thinking they can change them. Like, oh, the top 3 things are there, and so I can change the rest. Don't count on it. If you can't live with some of their thought flaws, then you got to discuss that beforehand, because most people, if you were brought up throwing your dirty clothes in the tub or, doing something that really bothers someone, those things are hard to break.
It is. I mean, we all have our little quirks that we
Yeah.
have. We both have. We've been married now 36 years.
Yeah.
And
But
we have our
we
quirks,
don't drive
but we
each
don't,
other
no.
nuts over
I mean,
them. Like if
you leave drawers open, lights on. I mean, it's just, you do not close a drawer. I don't know what it is. You just hate closing a door or a drawer. You just don't like it.
I'm not done in there yet.
But you're in another room.
When I'm all done, lately when I go in the kitchen when I'm done. But see, sometimes people call me out of there and I'm not done in there, and then I don't go back in there.
But I mean, we all have. It just
right
makes me
now,
laugh.
the door's open in the sunroom because I'm cleaning that out, but there's still stuff in the way.
Everywhere. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be things that it's going to drive you nuts. Just
I was
is.
looking to see if the closet was shit.
I closed that door.
Okay,
You always leave it open, but I closed the one in the.
Well, that's because I'm still, as you can see, I'm still going through that one.
This is supposed to help. See, actually having all these clothes out in this room is supposed to help with the like our mics are very close together. We're talking from a card table. This is our setup here in our podcast.
And we better get used to it because our area is shrinking.
Well, we don't. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do. Move on to the next one, but. Having all these closed is supposed to help with, like, I should have had the door closed too, because it bounces. The sound bounces off yours and we kind of bleed into each other. But hopefully, I was just listening to one of our last podcasts and it was sounding pretty good. So hopefully this will sound just as well. But anyway, so we talked about what women want. Men, they asked what they wanted.
Sex.
Many men would say hearty sex, a good friendship, dependable behavior, witty banter, and laughter. That's men, but sex is number one.
But I know some, like I know our oldest son said that he wanted someone who could carry on an intelligent conversation.
Yeah. Well, you want somebody that you can, well, actually, the bottom line is you want somebody you can communicate with, really.
Yeah.
That you have some, not all interests, you're not going to have the exact same interest. Just not going to happen. But sometimes that does happen, and they like the same things. Maybe they like going camping. Maybe they like going to hiking, whatever. There are people that like to do that. I am none of those things. I am a home
and I am
body.
The type that if I would have found someone like that, I probably would have camped and hiked.
You probably would have.
With someone who knows what they're doing.
Let's finish up with here is what both men and women want most from each other. A sense of comfort. They want to feel free to be him or herself in a relationship. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Comfortable in your own skin around your partner. You don't want to have,
you should feel comfortable.
Take me for my
even
flaws.
When there's silence.
As little as they may be.
Like we can not talk for,
Yeah.
I caught that. I know. You think I didn't, but I did.
You did. Yeah. Trust. Trust if you're sharing your life with someone.
Trust is a big thing.
Yeah.
Even in friendships or in family situations.
Yeah. You want to be
when
able to trust.
someone breaks that trust, it's hard to get back. It is very hard to show someone, like, and sometimes it's hard to prove to someone, or there's not a way to prove to them that you're not going to do that again.
Right.
Because until that something similar comes up again,
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
You don't know. And some people, like, trust is very hard.
Well, we just watched on the show.
Yeah.
Because the guys had gone off onto this like casa something.
Yeah. And
they were bringing back, like, they make a connection, and the one made a connection, and her trust was broken. Anyway, so trust, it says people are willing to overlook other nagging grievances as long as there's trust.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I believe that, because if you can trust that they're not going to,
appreciation. No one wants to be taken for granted. What people, both men and women, often say they want most in a relationship is to feel loved and needed.
And appreciated. Like,
and I do,
like you're a part of a partnership.
Yeah.
I think that's really true in jobs too.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're taking advantage of, like, that one person in the office that, pushes all their stuff on to different people all the time, and if you think that you've taken the brunt of it and no one appreciates it, that's a lot of times why you start looking for a new job, Yeah.
And finally, it's inspiration to be a better person. They say it's often not enough just to be loved. People generally want a partner who inspires them to be great. And going back,
I think that's true. I mean, we raised our kids that way.
Yes,
we raised our kids with the purpose in life that we're here to be of help to other people, and that's our purpose in life, is to help one another through this life.
Well, treat people the way you want to be treated. I think we've lost that in a lot of ways. And I was going back to appreciation. I think, I know that I can be, because you've always said, oh, you're just, you're in my way, or not. You don't mean it that way, but I try to help too much. Then can be the opposite, where I don't do anything. I have never done that. I'm not like that.
People that are,
but there are people like that just don't pick up and do anything.
They don't do nothing.
And
their partner does it all.
Yeah, when they're doing it all, and then they can't figure out why there's not that relationship
or intimacy,
right, absolutely,
or affection, because they figure they get nothing out of you, so why should they give anything back to you?
And this is, when you get into a marriage, there should be a partnership. You're in this together. And again, it all goes back to what we talked about earlier about, flaws. You got to be able to overlook some of those flaws in one another and see through that. It's just, sometimes we're not all raised the same. We're all raised in different homes, different, hopefully not different values, but sometimes the values can
get messed up.
You can work, but you can work that. You can probably,
in some cultures, their values are different, but then you see culture different marriages. Like, you've seen, people from one country move to another country with her, and it works for them. Maybe their main values are the same.
I think you do have to have some, moral compass for each other. I mean, I think you do have to have,
like, the same moral values.
Yeah. I mean, if you've, I don't know how.
I mean, you've heard these people with open marriages too.
Yes,
and if you both believe it's okay, and
there's no connection
they make
to
it,
me, right?
There's not, but if they both think it's okay, I guess
it
they
works
could
for
stay
them.
Married forever. But I don't know how many open marriages have worked forever.
Yeah, I don't know if there's I don't know if
there's any, or if they found someone else, that thrilled them a little bit more in the process.
Because I would think that if you found that one that really, get your rocks off, then that would be the one you're thinking about, even when you're with the one that you are married to. That would be a little
weird.
It would be tough. I don't know how you could stay together, because if you're always thinking, well, actually, it's better over there than it is. You know what I mean? It doesn't.
Well, that's
really,
why the trust thing is, you trust that
there
they're
you
not
go.
checking it out anyplace else.
Right. Well, we got through them, Tara. I had one more, but we'll save it for the next one. We're going to talk about decoding your dreams. Have you had any dreams lately?
I've had a couple weird ones lately.
I've noticed that I dream when I eat Cheerios.
That's what you said.
What the heck? I had some really, not that I'm naked in school, but just weird dreams. But we'll do that for the next podcast. We'll talk
Okay.
about decoding your dreams. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We really appreciate it. Don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter, Just Talking Out Loud, or you can email us, justtalkingoutloud.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe. That way, every Monday. In fact, I get alerts because I try to make sure that it's coming out at the right time. It comes out usually around midnight, Monday, 1 o'clock in the morning. So every Monday, you'll get an alert for a new show. We really appreciate for those that are hanging in there, listening to our banter. We talk about a lot of different subjects. And Penny says that our time is perfect because it's just under. Sometimes we go a little over her ride to work, but Penny, thanks for being one of our loyal. Did I say it right? Loyal listeners. Thank you so much, and we're out.
Have a blessed week.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show.